fear, regret, insecurity. These are the words that I think of when I watch each episode. As certain shows close into their episode finale, it made me debate which show I should talk about first that captivated me through its whole. It was pretty hard to figure out, not gonna lie. I mean, I could pivot to Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, Mushoku Tensei, shit even Re:Zero, but overall, Wonder Egg Priority came to mind the most. It's a show that kept me thinking about it for its weird ways of presenting itself. After each episode, it just makes you think deeply about your life or say, what the fuck am I watching? But before I get deeper into the show, let's get into the story, or I guess a quick synopsis. The show focuses on the life of Ayoto. Sorry, I'm white and I can't pronounce things right. We learn she isolated herself because of some trauma from her past. She won't go to school and has been living in her own bubble. Weird shit happens where we got a talking bug guiding her to some escalator in a cave. Yes, the show is weird. Then it skips to her waking up with an egg in her bed. She's like, what the fuck, why do I have an egg? And tries to figure out what she wants to do with it. Later in the night, she decides to head outside. As she turns, she walks into a different world. She figures out quickly that she's now in a school and sees weird people writing die on a locker. She then goes to the restroom where a fucking toilet paper starts talking to her. Yeah, the show's weird. They go back and forth and now the egg is cracked. It then grows and pops into a girl. The girl is kind of a bitch and Ai's like, fuck this hoe, and sits outside the restroom. Then the girl comes out and gets an axe chucked at her by some creepy girl thing. They run away, then split off after Ai gets scared. She dives into her past and we learn that her friend committed suicide and why she has trauma. You can tell she regrets not trying more and helping her friend. You see her get scared and not want to move. Okay, so now it switches back to her running and meeting a statue of her friend. She then sees the girl again and realizes she needs to save her. She decides to stop thinking about her past and sprints to save her. She then turns her pen into an axe that looks like some Powerpuff Girl shit. Yeah, the show's weird. Anyway, the girl ends up disappearing after the creature is gone. Ai learns more about what is happening and she finds her purpose, which is to save each person that comes out of these eggs. She gives up on wanting to sit still anymore and do nothing because she knows it brings regret. Anyway, I'm going to summarize everything since I don't want to spoil more of the plot. Plus, if you want to know more, watch the fucking show. My bad if that was rude. Anyway, she meets 3 more girls who have their own issues to deal with, and they all try to save the people that come out of the eggs who are feeling trauma from their lives. Now that we got that out of the way, yes, the show is weird, but I can say that it makes the show really good. The show makes you think and not take things at face value. Yes, I know to some that will sound boring to them, but what I loved about the show was that it made me think about certain things about myself. The story goes into different problems that the characters have, such as them dealing with death or having shitty parents who create a dysfunctional environment. You learn more about them and it feels more realistic. The way they present life as being ugly stays true to what we see. Yes, everyone sees or has been through a lot in life, so when you see these characters go through life with their different issues, you can relate to them in many ways. You get sad because you could picture yourself in their shoes to a certain extent. When they are together, they talk about their own unique issues, which adds more to the show. Yeah, all of them are from different backgrounds and live different lifestyles, but they could still help each other and relate to one another. All of them are human and have feelings, so it really does not matter. Okay, cue the big tangent about some life shit. Seeing this reminded me of when I went to high school in California. I would see many different personalities in one room. As an illustration for what I mean, you could see the ghetto kid, the athletic kid, the weirdo, the nerd, the Trump supporter, you name it and somebody would probably match it. But what made it dope was at points we could all vibe with each other and it did not matter what was happening at home or if we were dealing with some hard shit. We all had our laughs and made some good memories. We could all relate to each other in some way to where we could care less. I don't know where I'm going with this, but watching the show reminded me of stuff like this that had no reason crossing my mind. What also made the viewing experience great was the art and animation. Seeing the weird imagery and the different metaphors thrown at you made the show more interesting. The bright colors that contrast the negativity made it more compelling to keep watching. It added more value to the innumerable scenes, so it felt more impactful when you saw that big aha moment. Oh yeah, the music added more to these scenes as well. But for the sake of not repeating myself, I'll keep it to that. I don't know, what should I say? It looks pretty and sounds good. LOL. Did I just say LOL out loud? Fuck. I'm going to look at it from a different angle, but I love when shows can go into psychological aspects in the story. It makes you feel some way. When looking into history, this is why shows like Clannad, Madoka Magica, and other stuff that makes you think or feel something get brought up a lot. These shows mentally hit you in the gut because it makes you analyze yourself. Sometimes when I finish an episode, I try to put myself in the situation of that character. I ask myself, what would I do if I was in their shoes? Would I stay still? Would I ball up? Or would I say fuck it and kill that person or thing? Then you examine each character. When presented with the task to save people, they try to distract themselves from reality, but they're still exposed to their past because each situation makes them look back. You can see them trying to look away, but they can't because it won't help them if they stay still. Also, you can see that them having each other around and fulfilling their goals makes them driven. I think as an anime watcher, you should subject yourself to these type of shows. There's only so much I could say to convince you to watch it, but I feel that watching a show with a purpose or a message gravitates the viewer. When you see the themes presented, you get intrigued instead of getting bored because you know that the conclusion will be the same as with other shows. But in this show, it's hard to figure out what will happen next. Like, yeah, Dragon Ball was good because people were ripped as fuck and fought in tournament arc, but we all knew Goku was going to win no matter what. Like, oh cool, he has the coronavirus, guess we have to wait until he's healthy so he can win. I don't know if that made sense because his son technically won, but we all knew Goku was fucking around at a certain point. Anyway, throughout Wonder Egg Priority, you realize that things happen for a reason and that there's still so much that you don't know. You have to keep moving because sitting still in life wondering if you made the right choice won't do. That's basically everything I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I feel that adding feelings behind something can convince someone to try that questionable thing out. So that's why I like making these type of videos. If I can convince someone to try out a show, even if they come out not enjoying it, that's still a win in my book. I'm enjoying making content about the shows that I love because I want to convince people to try them out. Since anime is more socially accepted now, it's easier to bring up stuff like this. Back then, people would think you're weird if you like that weird kawaii ass medium, which sucked, but it made sense. Fandoms dictate what people enjoy. So obviously when they see some weird kid spouting off some shit wearing an Attack on Titan shirt, they won't give that show a shot. Now that people see the medium on its own with the help of trends, it shows this medium for what it is. So I want to help more by spreading awareness on what I like, since I wasted a lot of my time enjoying many shows. Anyway, if you would like to see content like this more, please like and subscribe. Anyway, that's all. Peace.